Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing, and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Broad Street. Broad Street, situated in Lagos Island, is steeped in Nigerian history. Once the biggest financial hub of the country, it housed the headquarters of major banks, linked to CBN, the stock exchange, and the loads of lender companies. Broad Street is a historically significant street. It has played a central role in the development of Lagos and history, an important commercial and administrative center for the British colonial authorities. It was also a home to some of the city's earliest modern buildings. Broad Street was a residential area in the pre-colonial era, where the British claimed the Methodist Boys High School in 1878 and the Broad Street Prison in 1882, renamed Freedom Park. The General Hospital, which was a British military hospital, was built in 1893, being the first general hospital in Nigeria. The old British Secretariat building, which is now the Federal Ministry of Justice, was built in 1906. Broad Street has seen a full turn into modern commercial office blocks, complexes, skyscrapers, and markets from the outer marina through Akpombo early into the Adeliji-Adele Road. Broad Street is one of the busiest streets in Nigeria on weekdays, where commercial activities take place day and night. From modern buildings to ancient structures, this street gives one a raw dose of life in Lagos. Broad Street is often referred to as Lagos Financial District. It boasts a mix of architectural styles, reflecting its long history, colonial-era buildings, Victorian and Edwardian architectural features, alongside more modern skyscrapers and structures. Broad Street remains a vital, vibrant part of the Nigerian economy. Broad Street. SOUQ Enlightenment.
Anthony Onyemaechi Elumelu was born on the 22nd of March 1963 in Jos, North Central Nigeria, to Susan and Dominic Elumelu, originally from Delta State. Tony earned a degree in economics from Ambrose University, where he laid the foundation for his future career, and then furthered his education at the University of Lagos, where he obtained a master's degree in economics. His academic journey also includes attending the Harvard Business School, where he completed the Owner of President Management program, equipping him with advanced business management skills. Tony currently serves as the chairman of Heirs Holdings, Transcorp, and United Bank for Africa, UBA, demonstrating his significant influence in the banking and investment sector. He founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which aims to empower African entrepreneurs through comprehensive training, mentorships, and funding opportunities. In addition to his professional achievements, he's also a family man, married to Dr. Adele Vivian Elumelu, and together They have 7 children. In 2020, his efforts were acknowledged when he was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Anthony Elumelu's net worth is estimated to be around $700 million, a testament to his successful ventures and strategic investments. Elumelu continues to be a driving force in the business world, advocating for sustainable economic growth and empowering the next generation of African entrepreneurs.
Hello and welcome to World News on SOUQ News Television. We're reaching you live from our studios in Lagos. I am Olumide Shokoya. Let's look at today's top stories. Turkey targets $5 billion trade with Nigeria, Erdogan says during joint briefing with President Tinubu. Imported petrol costs dropped below Dangote refinery price, reversing local fuel pricing advantage while raising affordability hopes. International Monetary Fund approves final Zambia credit review, unlocking $190 million to support economic recovery and fiscal stability. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says United Kingdom's first visit to China since 2018, boosting political business ties amid global tensions. And in sport news, Atalanta cuts asking price for Super Eagles Ademola Lookman from €50 million to €35 million amid transfer speculation. We'll bring you details in a moment. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey on Tuesday announced that his country aims to achieve a $5 billion trade volume with Nigeria, highlighting the growing economic ties between the two nations. The announcement was made in Ankara during a joint press briefing with Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, who is on an ongoing state visit to Turkey. According to a statement from the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Ononuga, both leaders reviewed bilateral relations and explored avenues to expand cooperation across multiple sectors, including trade, investment, and energy. Erdogan emphasized the strategic importance of strengthening economic engagement to benefit both nations' development agendas. President Tinubu welcomed the commitment, noting that deepening commercial ties with Turkey would enhance Nigeria's economic diversification efforts and create opportunities for increased private sector collaboration. Both leaders pledged to continue dialogue and implement measures aimed at achieving the $5 billion trade goal. The federal government has recorded a full subscription for its 501 billion naira inaugural power sector bond issued under the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Program, PPSDRP, signaling strong investor confidence in ongoing electricity market reforms. The disclosure was made on Tuesday by the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, Ms. Olu Arowola Vehayan, via X. The bond aims to address a long-standing payment arrears owed to power generation companies, restore liquidity across the sector, and strengthen confidence in the Nigerian electricity supply industry and ESI. Observers say the successful issuance underscores growing market trust in reforms designed to improve financial stability and operational efficiency in electricity generation and distribution. Officials noted that proceeds from the bond will be deployed promptly to settle valid outstanding obligations, reduce systemic debt risk, and support continuous power supply, aligning with the government's broader agenda to modernize and stabilize the nation's power infrastructure. The Nigerian Independent System Operator, NISO, has confirmed that Tuesday's national grid collapse was caused by a voltage disturbance from the Gombe transmission substation. Now, the disclosure was made in a statement issued on Tuesday, which also provided updates on ongoing repair and restoration efforts. According to NISO, the disturbance led to a partial system collapse affecting electricity supply across multiple regions. Engineers are working to stabilize the network and restore full operations, with authorities urging electricity consumers to expect intermittent supply until the system is fully repaired. This marks the second major grid disturbance in 2026, highlighting ongoing challenges in stability and resilience in Nigeria's power infrastructure. The incident underscores the importance of accelerated investment in transmission, monitoring, maintenance, and infrastructure upgrades to prevent recurring disruptions in the national electricity supply. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has approved a temporary 2-month window allowing importers to use expired National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) licenses for import and documentation. The move provides relief to businesses affected by ongoing system transitions in Nigeria's trade processing framework. In a circular dated January 26, 2026, issued by the Trade and Exchange Department and published on Tuesday, the CBN directed authorized dealer banks to continue processing Form M applications with NAFDAC licenses that lapsed on December 31, 2025. The temporary approval is set to expire on February 28, 2026. Now, the measure aims to prevent disruptions in trade flows and support businesses navigating regulatory updates, meanwhile giving importers time to renew their licenses. Stakeholders have welcomed the decision, noting that it reduces administrative bottlenecks and ensures continuity and cross-border commerce during the transition period. The World Bank Assistant Human Capital Opportunities for Prosperity and Equity (SOUQ program has directed state governments to publish contract awards information for basic education and primary health care procurement within 30 days after each quarter. The move aims to promote transparency, accountability, and timely verification of public spending. National Coordinator Hassan made the announcement on Monday during the first 2026 implementation support meeting with state focal persons held virtually in Abuja. He emphasized that quarterly disclosures must appear on official state government website to allow independent verification by the program's designated independent verification agents. Now, according to a statement by the SOUQ Communications Officer, Joe Mokhtar, on Tuesday, compliance with the disclosure requirement is mandatory for states to access incentive funds under the program. Now, the directive underscores the federal ministry's budget and economic planning's commitment to improving governance and enhancing the impact of public investment in education and healthcare. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has called on the federal government to step in following the renewed enforcement of a ban on sachet and small PET bottled alcoholic beverages by NAFDAC. Now, the association warned that the move is causing business disruptions and confusion due to conflicting directives. In a statement on Tuesday, MAN Director General Segun Ajayi-Kadir said NAFDAC has proceeded to implement the ban over the past 2 weeks, despite existing government directives and legislative resolutions restraining the agency from such action. He stressed that an inconsistent approach is harming operators and undermining policy coherence. Ajayi-Kadir warned that the renewed ban threatened jobs, government revenue, and local industry, describing the agency's actions as detrimental to the survival of concerned indigenous industrial operators. MAN urged the government to urgently intervene to prevent further economic and operational damage to domestic manufacturers. The landing cost of imported premium motor spirit (PMS) has fallen below the gantry price of petroleum from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery following a recent price hike by the facility. The development marks a reversal in pricing dynamics that has favored local refinery and raised expectations of cheaper supply data. Now, data from the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria show the landing cost of imported petrol stood at 728 naira 88 kobo per liter as of last week. The figure reflects prevailing international prices, freight, insurance, and port charges incurred by marketers. Now, on Monday night, Dangote Refinery increased its gantry price from 699 naira to 799 naira per litre. The adjustment places the refinery's ex-depot price at about 70 naira above the current landing cost of imported PMS, potentially reshaping sourcing decisions for fuel marketers nationwide. Analysts say sustained pricing gaps could intensify competition, influence imports, and test domestic defining economics under the regulated market conditions nationwide today. Now, still to come in the news, International Monetary Fund IMF approved final Zambia credit review, unlocking $190 million to support economic recovery and fiscal stability. Stay tuned, we'll bring you more after this.
Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekbetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with the Daily Service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, SOUQ Enlightenment.
My name is Shino Gbadegeshin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch SOUQ News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching SOUQ News, okay? Stay updated with SOUQ News.
My name is Aton Keme. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching SOUQ News and stay glued to SOUQ News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch SOUQ News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
At the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, monitoring, and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. Ready to make an impact? For more information, email us at info@adstudycenter.com or call +234 912 439 2362. Visit us today at www.adstudycenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Many thanks for staying with us on the World News on SOUQ News Television. The International Monetary Fund, IMF Executive Board on Tuesday approved the sixth and final review of Zambia's extended credit facility, paving the way for a $190 million disbursement to support the country's economic recovery. Zambia initially reached a $1.3 billion financing agreement with the IMF in 2022 to aid its navigation out of a debt default before the facility was later expanded to $1.7 billion to provide additional fiscal support and bolster investor confidence. The IMF said the approval follows Zambia's continued implementation of key policy reforms aimed at strengthening fiscal discipline, enhancing debt sustainability, and promoting macroeconomic stability. Officials noted that the disbursement would help the southern African nation maintain economic momentum while addressing vulnerabilities and ensuring continued growth. The South African government on Tuesday announced plans to introduce measures by the end of February aimed at boosting domestic vehicle production, including potential revisions of luxury taxes on imported cars and import tariffs. Officials said the review of the country's automotive policy seeks to address multiple challenges facing the industry, including the global shift to electric and hybrid vehicles, stricter emission regulations involving international trade dynamics, and mounting competition from low-cost imports and China. The proposed measures are intended to strengthen the competitiveness of local manufacturers, protect jobs, and ensure the sustainability of South Africa's automotive amid enhancing global market conditions. Stakeholders will be engaged in the coming weeks to ensure the policy reflects both industries' needs and economic priorities. We'll take a short break now and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. The European Union and Vietnam are seeking to expand trade and investment in critical minerals, semiconductors, and infrastructure, according to a draft joint statement seen by Reuters. Now, the agreement set for Adoption on Thursday comes as both sides upgrade in diplomatic relations. The 8-page draft highlights plans for cooperation in trusted telecom networks, reflecting concerns over Chinese firms winning contracts in Vietnam's 5G rollout. And the European Union is also exploring potential transfer of defense technology to Hanoi, signaling deeper strategies, ties beyond traditional economic engagement. Officials say the partnership aims to strengthen economic resilience and technological security in the region. By boosting investments in key sectors and modern infrastructure, the European Union and Vietnam intend to diversify supply chains, enhance industrial capacity, and secure mutual benefits amid rising geopolitical competition in Southeast Asia. Now, senior officials from Taiwan and the United States met this week to discuss collaborations in artificial intelligence, technology, and drone development, underscoring the strategic importance of the partnership. And the talks took place at a high-level forum initially launched during the first Trump administration. The U.S. State Department described Taipei as a vital partner, highlighting the ongoing support despite the absence of formal diplomatic relations. The forum, known as the U.S.-Taiwan Economic Prosperity Partnership Dialogue, first convened in November 2020 and has since served as a key platform for advancing bilateral technology and economic cooperation. Now, analysts note that the discussion reflects broader U.S. efforts to strengthen ties with Taiwan in official sectors, including defense technology and high-end manufacturing, while signaling continued commitment to the island's security and international engagement. The dialogue also aims to ensure Taiwan remains a resilient player in global tech ecosystem. Now, Taiwan's Air Force conducted a high-tempo drill on Wednesday, showcasing its ability to rapidly refuel, rearm, and return its most advanced F-16 fighter jet to the skies. The exercise was designed to highlight combat readiness and operational efficiency in response to regional security threats. The drill comes amid near daily Chinese air incursions around Taiwan, which Taipei views as a deliberate campaign to test and exhaust its smaller air force while exerting political pressure on the island. Officials said the exercise focused on rapid response, coordination, and resilience under continuous operational stress. Taiwanese military experts emphasized that such preparedness is crucial for national defense, ensuring aircraft availability and pilot readiness. The demonstration aims to reassure domestic agencies and deter potential aggressors, underlining the Air Force capability to sustain high-tempo operations despite persistent Chinese pressure in the region. Now, India's equity benchmark rose on Wednesday, extending gains from the previous session after a landmark trade agreement with the European Union boosted expectations of stronger economic growth. Now, the positive sentiment reflected optimism that improved market access, lower trade barriers, and deeper cooperation would support corporate earnings and capital inflows. The 90-50 index climbed 0.44% to 25,289.10, while the BSE Sensex advanced 0.46% to 82,225.69 by 9:48 a.m. IST. Broad-based buying was seen across key sectors, with banking, metals, and information technology stocks leading early gains. Market analysts say the EU deal could strengthen India's export outlook and reinforce confidence among foreign investors seeking stable growth opportunities. However, they cautioned that global monetary conditions, geopolitical risk, and earnings performance would continue to influence near-term market direction. Traders are also watching policy signals, currency movement, and global equity trends for additional direction during the remainder of the trading session. Japan signaled readiness to act in currency markets after a sharp yuan surge unsettled traders. Finance Minister Satsuki Katayama said authorities will take appropriate foreign exchange action if needed, while declining to comment on the move. The yen jumped more than 1 yen against the dollar on Tuesday night. Trading market volatility has revived talks of yen buying intervention, a tool Japan has used to smooth excessive swings Officials have repeatedly warned against rapid speculative moves that hurt businesses and households. A weaker currency raises import costs, while certain strength can squeeze exporters already navigating global demand and monetary policy signals. Investors now await clearer guidance from Tokyo and upcoming policy cues from major central banks. Any intervention would aim to stabilize market rather than target specific levels. For now, officials stress vigilance, signaling readiness to respond swiftly if disorderly moves threaten financial stability or the broader economic recovery nationwide confidence. Still to come in the news, Prime Minister Keir Starmer starts United Kingdom's first visit to China since 2018, boosting political business ties amid global tension. This is World News on SOUQ News Television. We'll be right back.
Human ingenuity has birthed remarkable innovations, none more so than the rise of intelligent machines. Computers, once more calculators, have evolved into sophisticated systems capable of mimicking human thought processes. Powered by artificial intelligence, AI, these systems are learning, problem-solving, and making decisions that were once exclusive domain of humans. From accelerating scientific discovery to tackling climate change, AI's potential is vast, but perhaps its most profound impact lies in healthcare. Artificial intelligence, AI, it's no longer a futuristic concept. It's here with the potential to revolutionize patient care, diagnosis, and treatment. AI is emerging as a powerful tool in the hands of medical professionals. From detecting diseases early to optimizing treatment plans, AI is demonstrating remarkable capabilities. It can analyze vast amounts of medical data to identify patterns and predict outcomes, aiding in more accurate diagnosis. Also, AI-powered robots are assisting in surgeries, improving precision, and reducing recovery times. However, despite its promises, challenges persist. Concerns about data privacy, ethical implications, and the need for robust regulatory frameworks are hindering widespread AI adoption. To fully unlock AI's potential in healthcare, collaborative efforts are essential. Healthcare providers, researchers, policymakers, and technology companies must work together to develop and implement AI solutions responsibly. By addressing ethical concerns, investing in AI research, and creating supportive regulatory environments, we can accelerate the integration of AI into healthcare and improve patient outcomes. Joy Chuma, SOUQ News.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Wednesday began their first visit to China by a British leader since 2018, aiming to strengthen political and business ties with Beijing amid growing volatility in the relations between Western countries and the United States. Now the visit marks a significant diplomatic step as Britain reassesses its global economic strategy in a shifting geopolitical environment. Starmer said the United Kingdom must strike a careful balance in its engagement with China, remaining alert to potential security risk while recognizing the economic opportunities offered by the world's second-largest economy. His approach is drawn criticism from some British and U.S. politicians who argue closer engagement with Beijing could undermine Western security interests. Now, the visit comes as several Western governments seek to diversify partnerships and reduce over-reliance on the United States, whose foreign and trade policies have become less predictable. Starmer is expected to meet senior Chinese officials and business leaders to explore trade, investment, and cooperation opportunities. President Donald Trump on Tuesday said the United States and South Korea will work something out following his surprise Monday announcement to raise tariffs on imports from the Asian ally to 25%. The U.S. leader did not provide further details when speaking to reporters as he departed White House for a speech in Iowa. Now, the announcement has sparked concerns about potential strains in the long-standing U.S.-South Korea trade partnership, which underpins broader security and economic cooperation in East Asia. Now, analysts note that such a tariff increase could impact sectors including automotive, steel, consumer goods, while complicating diplomatic ties between the two allies. Observers expect further discussions between U.S. and South Korean officials to clarify the scope of the tariffs, potential exemptions, and mechanisms to mitigate disruption to bilateral trade as both countries seek a mutually acceptable resolution. Prime Minister Mark Carney on Tuesday denied he had retracted comments that irritated U.S. President Donald Trump, stating that almost nothing in the United States is normal. Now, the remark underscores ongoing tensions between Ottawa and Washington over trade and geopolitical approaches. Carney's comments follow a speech he delivered last week in Davos, Switzerland, where he urged nations to accept the decline of rules-based global order once championed by the United States. His critique of U.S. policy, particularly in trade, drew ire from the White House, highlighting strained relations between the two long-standing allies. Observers say Carney's stance reflects broader concerns about Washington's unpredictability under Trump's administration, with potential implications for North American trade, security cooperations, and diplomatic engagements. Analysts note that Canada may need to navigate carefully to protect economic interest while managing bilateral tensions. U.S. intelligence reports have raised doubt over whether interim Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez will fully cooperate with Trump administration's push to cut ties with Washington's adversaries, according to officials familiar with the assessment. There is skepticism within U.S. agencies about Rodriguez's willingness to formally break relations with Iran, China, and Russia, despite public expectations from Washington. U.S. officials have said they want the interim president to sever diplomatic security and advisory links with those countries, including expulsion of their diplomats and advisors from Venezuela. However, intelligence assessments suggest Rodriguez may be reluctant to take steps that could destabilize internal power balancings or undermine long-standing political and economic partnership. The uncertainty complicates U.S. efforts to reshape Venezuela's foreign policy orientation following recent leadership changes. Analysts say Washington is likely to maintain pressure while weighing incentives tied to sanction reliefs, diplomatic recognition, and economic engagement as it gauges whether Rodriguez will align decisively with U.S. strategic interests. In sport news, Serie A club Atalanta have reduced their asking price for Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman from €50 million to €35 million, signaling a possible shift in stance over the player's future. Lookman has been the subject of sustained transfer speculation since last summer after indicating in a move to domestic rivals Inter Milan, a deal Atalanta firmly blocked at the time. The Bergamo-based side had previously insisted on a €50 million clause, inciting an understanding with the player that ruled out a transfer to another Serie A club. That position effectively stalled negotiations despite strong interest and Lookman's status as one of Atalanta's most influential attackers in recent seasons. However, with interest growing from clubs across Europe, including his former side Everton, Atalanta have now lowered their valuation to €35 million. The revised price could accelerate talks in the upcoming transfer window as potential buyers reassesses the affordability of a deal for the Nigerian international. Still in sport news, CAF Referees Committee President Oliver Safari has indicated that regulations governing goalkeeper towel usage could be reviewed following controversy at the recent Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The issue drew widespread attention during Nigeria's semi-final against the host, when Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali was repeatedly distracted as stadium officials interfered with towels placed near his goal area. The matter escalated further during the final, again involving the host nation. Senegal goalkeeper Edouard Mendy experienced similar disruption, with ball boys, stewards, and players repeatedly handling or removing his towels. The incident sparked debate about gamesmanship, match control, and whether clearer protection is required for goalkeepers during high-stake matches. Safari said the Confederation is studying the incident and may clarify or adjust existing rules to prevent interference. Any review would aim to ensure fairness, reduce distractions, and preserve the integrity of major tournaments as host teams or officials are involved. And that's a wrap on the news, but before we go, here's a recap of today's top story. Turkey targets $5 billion trade with Nigeria, Erdogan says during joint briefing with President Tinubu. Imported petrol costs drop below Dangote refinery price, reversing local fuel pricing advantage while raising affordability hopes. International Monetary Fund approves final Zambia credit review, unlocking $190 million to support economic recovery and fiscal stability. Prime Minister Keir Starmer starts United Kingdom's first visit to China since 2018, boosting political, business ties amid global tension. And in sport news, Atalanta cuts asking price for Super Eagles Ademola Lookman from €50 million to €35 million amid transfer speculation. Many thanks for watching us. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at SOUQ News TV. I am Olumide Shobaya. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much. I think the bill is a good one for Nigeria. And I think that the bill will be a catalyst for business to thrive in Nigeria. So my position and my perspective to the bill would be that it will be a very positive one for Nigeria going forward. If eventually the bill scale through the legislative processes and it have actually eventually become a law. So that would be my position. Thank you. Yeah, the bill will help business in different areas. Let me mention, for instance, the payee is part of cost for a business. It's part of staff cost. And for especially small businesses, which are the major backbone of the economy, the bill is proposing a reduction, that is proposing tax exemption for some category of lower staff cadre, which in essence is a cost reduction for businesses. So by that, it will help the business to thrive. Also, many people will come, by virtue of that, employ more people, which will bring a robust activity for the economy. And at the same time, there's some category of people that their tax will also be reduced compared to what is currently in operation. So it is a positive atmosphere for business. And when you look at it from the perspective of VAT too, you also see that there's going to be zero tax on some product. There's also going to be a tax exempt on some products, especially for masses, people, low-income earner. So some certain products, they're going to be essential. There's some certain product that's going to be zero tax related. So by that, it will bring a more robust business activity. So by it, and then it will have positive effect on business and economy in general. Yeah, the argument is important. It's very, very important. But when you look at it, fix the small business, it will encourage more small business. And also, even the 50 million turnover is not a small thing for business, though it is still small relatively to the economic activity. But it is a plus, right? And again, for business that their activity are more than 50 million, then it's good that they should pay tax and contribute little as company income tax to back to the economy. Now, if their taxes are used judiciously, then it will bring more infrastructure to the economy. Then there will be development in the country. Then we'll also be able to look at the advanced country. We envy them, we look at them that they are infrastructures in places, then these things are not cheap. They are not cheap. So, but the main focus for now is that is in a positive trend. It's a positive trend. I encourage that the bill should be passed and the implementation then should be followed so that it will bring a positive effect to the economic generally and the business will thrive going forward. Well, I don't see disadvantage, but I see challenge. Okay. Yeah, one of the things is that naturally, human beings were adverse to change. So if something is bringing a change, especially when you want to take us out of a comfort zone, we may not want to willingly agree with it. But for me, I think the positive and the benefits outweigh whatever probably challenge or the disadvantage we may envisage. So I still strongly believe that the bill is in the right direction for this year. Okay, I think from the angle of the value-added tax, what I would like to say in that area is that it will help the lower income earners because, like I mentioned earlier, that there's some products that's going to be zero rated, which means that there is not going to be tax VAT on them. There are some that are totally tax VAT exempted, so which means that, and these products, they are products that commonly is everybody really, but more of a masses low income earner will not with the VAT that will have been paid on it will have been an impact on them, then it's taking off. So I think from that perspective is also a good and a welcome one. And it compared to what was proposed before, a general increase in the VAT rate across board. So this one is narrow it down to a particular area. So wherein it also exempt or puts zero rated on some product that are commonly used by the masses. So it's a positive direction. It's a good one. Yeah, okay. One, from the tax perspective, one of the very good things about this bill is that it allows that you claim input fats VAT is what you sell, what you buy. So the net effect of is what you remit. Then this bill also help to claim some expenses which currently is not in operation. So it's a positive one. Then again, you mentioned the increase in the VAT going forward. Well, let's appreciate that the increase is going to be gradual. That's one. Then two, let's also remember that the VAT, some of these products, they are not going to be with VAT again. That with common people like me and you, transport, there's not going to be VAT on it. Rent, no VAT on it. Food item, no VAT on it any longer. And many more. Health, no VAT on it any longer. So you can see that the VAT is going to be increased gradually, but it's not across board. So those basic that we know is every day is already been taken care of. So I think it should give it to the people that work on this bill. Okay, thank you so much for that angle and the question. I want to say that Federal Inland Revenue Services, they are really trying. And I can tell you, there's no system that doesn't have its own challenge. But FRS, they are trying. And they are moving from those days of Alanok. Now we have tax promise. You can do your filing right from the comfort of your office. You don't need to visit their office except there is a challenge. Right? So they are doing well, but they are not yet at the best. So, and there is room for improvement. They are already deploying technology. So what they need to do is to scale up and up to the task. But currently, they are doing well. So they just need to improve. Yeah, well, it depends on the perspective you look at it. If is it shrinking? Yes, we have some companies that are no more within the soul of the Nigerian. So in that case, their taxes is no more coming to us. But again, look at other businesses that are springing forth. So definitely those are coming to the tax net. And then again, there are some companies that are not, businesses that are not in tax net. So through the use of technologies by FRS, they're already bringing them to tax net. So the tax net is increasing. So the net effect of it, you can say, is increasing. Though we have some that are leaving the soul of Nigeria. So net effect of it, the tax net is increasing. Because we have people that businesses that are coming to Nigeria, and we have people that are businesses that are already in Nigeria, but they are not in tax net, but they are already bringing them to tax net. So it's like they are looking at perspective of increasing the threshold from 25 million to 50 million, as the case may be. Yeah. So are they saying that government should also still be taxing 25 million threshold? So we should applaud the bill that give opportunity for businesses that their threshold is less than 50 million, as the case may be. So, but from that angle, if you are looking at it that the business is shrinking, I don't see from that angle. I see from the angle of if the business is doing well and you are not to pay tax, rent, then your business is becoming robust, then you exceed the 50 million threshold. Then you also come back to the tax to be paid. So it's a way of giving boost to the business. And by the time the business is doing well beyond that threshold, then they'll be able to give back to the society. So it's a win-win situation. It's like giving a kind of relief to a business for them to thrive. And when they become better, doing well, then it's an encouragement to business, which they will also come to the net after there. So it's a good one. The chairman of the year.
The chairman.
SOUQ.
Yes. How would you assess his performance so far?
Yeah, I think Mr. SOUQ is a reformer. Yes. Looking at the step he has taken after assuming the office, and also see that he's somebody that is listening. He has a close relationship with the former chairman of FRS. Probably he has learned some of things from him, challenges that he faced when he was there. So I think he's helping the current chairman. And if you look at the revenue they are getting, they are meeting up with the target. And at the same time, if you look at the staff, I don't see much of issues, challenges within them. So those are the indices that you can look at from the performance of a leader. Look at the staff that is leading, look at the target, the businesses also, are they failing? So I think he's doing well, but he can do better.
At the heart of a strong currency lies a simple principle. The demand for local goods drives production, creates jobs, reduces reliance on imports, and ultimately stabilizes the exchange rate. Countries like Rwanda, South Africa, and Egypt have achieved remarkable success by investing in their own industries. Rwanda has built a textile industry that competes with foreign imports. South Africa has developed a powerful automobile sector, and Egypt has excelled in agribusiness exports. These nations have strengthened their currencies by prioritizing local production, consumption, and exports. Nigeria, with its vast resources, stands at the threshold of a similar transformation. When Nigerians buy locally made products, fewer dollars flow out of the country for imports, preserving foreign exchange reserves. As local industries become more competitive, they can also expand exports, particularly under the African Continental Free Trade Area, bringing in foreign exchange and strengthening the naira. In 2022, Nigeria spent over $9 billion on food imports. If just half of that had been directed towards locally made goods, it could have significantly reduced pressure on the naira. The key lies in industries with the potential to drive economic growth: agro-processing, textiles, automotive, technology, and leather goods. Nigeria is already a leader in agriculture, but to fully benefit, the country needs to move beyond exporting raw commodities to processed goods. Products like cashew nuts, shea butter, palm oil derivatives, and hibiscus flowers command higher prices internationally. Ghana earns about $2 billion annually from cocoa processing, while Nigeria's cocoa exports lag far behind. With investment in food processing plants and the branding of agricultural exports as premium African products, Nigeria can bridge this gap, reduce reliance on European imports, and tap into Africa's fast-growing middle class. The Nigerian fashion industry has also gained global recognition, but the country still imports billions of dollars in textiles. In 2021, Nigeria imported over $4 billion worth of textiles, while Ethiopia, using local cotton, earned $110 million from garment exports. By boosting local textile manufacturing and using Nigerian cotton, Nigeria could reclaim a significant share of the $15 billion African fashion industry, positioning cities like Lagos, Aba, and Kano as textile hubs. Nigeria's automobile sector also presents an opportunity. The country spends over $8 billion annually on vehicle imports. In contrast, South Africa's automotive sector contributes over $12 billion to its GDP and employs more than 100,000 people. By implementing policies that support local vehicle assembly and production, Nigeria can reduce import dependency, create jobs, and become the region's automobile hub. Nigeria's tech ecosystem, home to fintech giants like Flutterwave and Paystack, is already Africa's largest. If Nigerians prioritize homegrown software solutions, the country can reduce capital flight and strengthen its tech industry, making Nigeria a global player in technology. The leather industry, particularly in Kano, also holds significant potential. While Nigeria produces some of the finest leather in Africa, much of it is exported as raw material. If we focus on producing high-end leather goods like handbags, shoes, and belts, Nigeria can meet local demand and expand exports. Ethiopia's leather exports exceeded $133 million in 2022, while Nigeria's remained under $50 million. By branding and exporting premium leather products, Nigeria can become Africa's leather capital, boosting the naira through increased foreign exchange earnings. To strengthen the naira, Nigeria must prioritize investments in infrastructure, improve product standards, enhance branding, and implement policies that favor local manufacturers. Consumers must also consciously choose locally made products to create jobs and drive industrial growth. The success stories of Ghana, South Africa, and Ethiopia show that this strategy works. It is time for Nigeria to invest in and promote made in Nigeria goods, solidifying and strengthening the naira for a more self-sustaining and prosperous economy.
Welcome to Cash Crafts, the show that turns your skills and ideas into serious income. Whether you're just getting started or you're already in the business, we'll bring you practical tips, fresh opportunities, and real stories to help you grow, literally and financially. I am Grace Komalafe, and today we are digging into horticulture, a vibrant green world where beauty meets business. Ask me why horticulture, and I will give you a mind-blowing answer. So here is it. Horticulture isn't just about flowers. It's food, income, wellness, and sustainability rolled into one. From fresh fruits to ornamental plants, it boosts nutrition, urban design, environmental health, and jobs. With climate concerns rising and food needs increasing, horticulture is fast becoming the new oil. But where is the cash? Let's break it down. 7 green paths to profit, and I take it from 1. Plant nursery. Raise and sell seedlings, ornamental trees, herbs, shrubs. From balcony plants to estate palms, people pay to green their spaces. And 2. Landscaping. Design and maintain outdoor spaces for homes, estates, offices. Think aesthetics plus recurring contracts. And 3. Garden maintenance. Offer pruning, pest control, soil treatment, and seasonal cleanups. A steady side hustle for trained hands. And we move to 4. Horticultural farming. Now, grow fruits, veggies, flowers, or herbs. Go organic, go premium. Target hotels, health stores, and home markets. And we move to 5, consulting, breed new plants, varieties, advise firms, or supply rare seeds. If you are skilled, your knowledge becomes a product. And we move to 6, product marketing, sell fertilizers, potting soils, seeds, tools, and even ready-to-use grow kits. Offline or online, green goods, move. Tip number 7, training or education. You can host workshops, classes, or start a YouTube channel. Gardeners, enthusiasts, and students are hungry to learn. Now, whichever paths you choose, start with research, visit local horticultural centers, understand what grows in your region, learn from experts. Your first harvest may not bring millions, but with time, this business roots deep. Remember, success in horticulture isn't only about soil, it's about strategy. So here is your takeaways. An award choking on stress, pollution, and processed food. Green is gold. Horticulture is low entry, high potential, and if done right, it fits both the body and the bank account. So, what number are you reaching for on our list of 7? Alright, that's it for today on Cashcraft. Until next time, I am Grace Komolafe, helping you plant ideas that pay right here on Cashcraft. When conversations around figures, I mean money, flies around, serious-minded and business-conscious people will at every point open their eyes because business ideas and opportunities can come up even at a bar. But for us, we are bringing you business ideas to your doorstep. And today I am saying welcome to Cashcraft, where we share with you tips on making money. We dig into the ordinary things around us, things we pass by daily, never knowing they could be our next income stream. My name is Grace Komolafe, and today we are stepping into the world of charcoal. Not the one you fan under your suya or barbecue, but the one that's quietly building millionaires, fueling export earnings, and heated up markets from Lagos to places like Nairobi. In the smoky corners of rural villages, behind the crackles of burning logs, lies a black treasure, charcoal. It may not glitter, but don't be fooled. Charcoal is hot business, literally and financially. Now, before you turn up your eyes thinking it's dirty work for tired farmers, I want you to pay a close attention because this is business, not push talk. Charcoal is made by carbonizing wood, burning it slowly in a low oxygen environment to remove moisture and volatile compounds, leaving behind a high carbon energy packed fuel. It's used in households, restaurants, bakeries, foundries, and exported in tons out of Africa to Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Straight to the numbers, according to data from the International Trade Center, Nigeria exports over 400,000 tons of charcoal annually. That's millions of dollars flowing into an industry that up until now barely makes the headlines. Charcoal ranks among Nigeria's top 10 non-oil export commodities, and guess what? The market is growing, especially with the rise in demand for natural and organic heating fuel abroad. But how can you, yes you, tap into this business? So here are tips from top to bottom. Step 1, know your entry points. The charcoal business is wild. You can be a producer cutting and burning the wood, a distributor buying from villages and selling to cities, or a transporter, a retailer, or even go big as an exporter. If you want to go into production, you will need access to hardwood species like acacia, mahogany, or share. This burn longer and cleaner. And please, don't just cut trees anyhow. Get your wood legally and where possible. Support replanting. Illegal logging is the fastest way to lose your business before it. All right, let's go to step 2. Carbonize like a pro. Charcoal is made in kilns, while many still use traditional earth kilns. Modern alternatives like the Casaban kilns or adamant retort kilns produce better yields, reduce smoke, and are friendlier to the environment. A small investment in an improved kilns can double your output and your profit. Now step 3, bag it right. Local sales, use 25 kg or 50 kg sacks. For export, your charcoal must be dry, dust-free, and neatly packaged. Now exporters deal in 20-foot or 40-foot containers, each holding up to 25 tons. So let's go to step 4. Know your market. If you're selling locally, look for suya sellers, grill restaurants, and food vendors. In urban centers like Lagos, Abuja, or Port Harcourt, and many in Nigeria, charcoal sells fast, especially during festive seasons. Now, exporters, on the other hand, deal with buyers in Germany, UK, Belgium, Israel, UAE, and more. You will need a registered business and export license from NEPC and reliable logistics partners. That's very important, isn't it? So let's move to 5. Learn network. Grow. You need to network and you need to grow. The charcoal business is not enter and blow. No way. You need to learn the ropes. Join export forums, visit charcoal hubs in places like Oyo, Nasarawa, Kogi, and even Ogun State. Build relationships with local producers and study what foreign buyers want. And yes, think beyond just lump charcoal. There's briquette charcoal, eco-friendly, compressed charcoal made from agricultural waste, and that's the future. It's cleaner, greener, and already catching fire somewhere far off Africa. If you get small capital and you no load, this business they pay you. You fit load one truck and make better money. But customers and forest wahala, if it spoil your market so yes, there are risks. The government can clamp down on deforestation. Poor quality charcoal can ruin your reputation, especially with international buyers. Export delays, custom seizure, they are all real. But with knowledge, structure, and strategy, you can turn charcoal into gold. So here is your takeaways. Charcoal is not just for the poor man's stove. It's for the smart man's pocket. It's a hustle, a venture, a serious export commodity. And whether you start small or go global, it is very much a cash craft. Remember, this isn't professional investment advice. It's a spark, a mental wake-up call that opportunity is often found where people don't bother to look. Until next time, I am Grace Komolafe, and today, what did I do? I have actually helped you to turn smoke into substance on Cashcraft. Welcome to Cashcraft, where opportunities meet insight. Today, we're journeying into the field of prosperity where towering oil palms wave not just leaves, but the promise of wealth. From the humid groves of Edo to the rich red earth of Delta, a quiet boom is unfolding. Dough has been there for many years, but we could take advantage of this. This is one opportunity that holds the key to food security, foreign exchange savings, and thousands of jobs. Yes, we're talking about palm oil, Africa's red gold. But how do you tap into this opportunity? What does it take to build a business around palm oil, from plantation to profit? Let's break it down, step by step. 1. Understand the landscape. The first step is knowledge. Nigeria's oil palm production has risen by over 41% in the past decades, from 8.2 million metric tons in 2014 to 11.6 million in 2023, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization. Yet, with over 200 million mouths to feed and rising global demand, we are still importing palm oil to close the gap. That's your opportunity to become a local producer or processor. Step 2, choose your entry point. There are 3 main ways to enter into the palm oil value chain. Palm plantation farming. Cultivating your own palm trees is long-term but rewarding. Now you can look at processing. Buying palm fruits, popularly known as banga, I'm sure you know that. And converting it into oil with machines, that's another one. And trading, you can buy and sell finished oil in local or export markets. Each has different startup costs and time frames, so you must match your capital, patience, and passion. Before I go further, remember that this is not a professional guide, rather a wake-up call that there are opportunities everywhere. Now let's go to step 3. Get land or source supply. According to research, some initiatives like the Edo Oil Palm Development Program, EOPDP, and Delta State Delcom scheme are making access to land to become easier. Findings shows that in Edo State, over 114,000 hectares have been allocated to both big and small investors, and over 65,000 hectares have already been accessed. In Delta, 130,000 hectares have been provided by communities under a cooperative model, with over 3,000 smallholders farmers already on board. Even if you can't own land, you can start small by sourcing fruit from cooperatives or leasing a small processing space. Of course you can. Now let's move to 4. Know the cost and time frame. It costs between $7,000 to $8,000 to cultivate 1 hectare of palm from nursery to maturity, but it takes about 3 to 4 years for the trees to start yielding. If you want quick returns, processing and trading may be better. You can buy a small-scale palm oil milling machines for 1.5 million to 3 million naira, or even less if you join a cooperative or lease. So let's go to step 5. Invest in knowledge and market access. Join farmer cooperatives like those in Delcom. They give access to training, markets, and funding. You can also link up with established companies like Presco and Okomo Oil. Yeah? I'm not marketing, but it's a way to tell you that, look, there are opportunities everywhere. All of these are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Step 6, think sustainability and value addition. Palm oil is not just for stew and soup. Yeah, think big. You can produce refined oil, cosmetics, biodiesel, and export-grade products. Investors are already joining this, and governments are backing it. You can do your research. There is also growing interest in eco-friendly farming and traceable supply chains. If you do it right, foreign buyers will come looking. Palm oil may have its controversies, but in Africa, especially in Nigeria, it is heritage, it is economy, it is future. The rise of Edo and Delta as palm oil giants is not just about hectares or harvest. It is about people creating jobs, reducing imports, and saving foreign exchange. If you are looking for a business with cheap roots and wide branches, palm oil may just be your calling. This has been Cashcraft, your guide to turning ideas into income. I am Grace Komalafe. Join us again next time, and remember, the ground beneath your feet might be your next big break. See you again.
To start with, let me give some introduction to myself. As you said, I was a former commissioner of finance. I was a commissioner of finance during the Ganduja's administration from June 2015 to October 2018. I was there for 28 months, okay, as a commissioner of finance. And I had been with Bayero University, Kano, before I was appointed commissioner of finance. Still, I'm a professor of accounting in the university, but I double as a commissioner of taxation, because at the Prince Abubakar Audu University, Ayumba, Kogi State, there was a chair that had been vested there by the Federal Revenue Service in 2011. And they invited applicant for that chair, and I was the successful person, successful applicant. So I still occupy that chair, even though the chair is not functioning. But I got the privilege of serving as the elected or selected professor of taxation in that university. So I am in the area of taxation. I've done a lot of researches in that. And then I serve as the Federal Commissioner of the Tax Appeal Tribunal. So it was on 15th November that our tenure came to an end, from 2018 to 2024 November. So you can see that I have been involved at various levels on the issue of fiscal policy, tax revenue generation, tax revenue utilization. So this reform that we are talking about was brought about by the president with a view to maybe perfecting the tax system in the country. So he formed a committee to advise him as to how to go about coming up with very good national fiscal policy, not just tax policy, and then how to reform the taxes in the country to make them better so that Nigeria can compete with other economies that are advanced in the area of utilization of taxation as a means of growing up the economy and achieving sustainable development. So this I know, the process and all that have gone into this project of reform. So bills were developed out of the report of that committee appointed by the president under the chairmanship of Mr. Tayo Oyedele. And for the first time in the history of forming a committee in Nigeria, we had a committee that the president has given the power of implementation. So it's not just about recommending something to him. It is about coming up with a report which will be convincing to him, and if he's convinced, he will ask them to be involved in the implementation of the recommendation of the report. So I think that is why the committee just presented the proposed bill to him without taking this bill to the public domain. Because of the trust that he has on the committee, he just sent the bill to the National Assembly for consideration, for passage into law. And in the bill, they even gave deadline as to when the bill to be passed into law. They expected that the National Assembly would deliberate on this committee, on this bill, to the extent that the bill will be passed into law before 1st January 2025. So that by 1st January 2025, the content or the provision in these bills will begin to be implemented by the government. 4 bills were developed and proposed. And then unlike the expectation, the comment you made that people are more concerned about the administrative, tax administrative bill. What the bill that is generating the highest controversy is the Nigerian tax bill. That is the bill that has made provision for repealing about 11 taxes that are currently existing, including the VAT itself, including petroleum profit tax, including personal income tax, including companies income tax, and other taxes like capital gain tax, casino tax, etc., etc. And then about 14 laws that are related to taxation, including laws that are designed to exercise control over consumption, over production. They made substantial amendment on them, and then take the amended part of those laws into the Nigerian tax bill, which means that the laws have suffered from, or they have enjoyed consequential amendment. So this bill, which is expected to become an act by 1st January, is now becoming an amalgamation of most of the taxes that Nigeria is using now. Most of the taxes, those that have been repealed, part of the provision in them have been injected into the Nigerian tax bill. Those that have been considered for consequential amendment, they are also captured in the Nigerian tax bill. And then they made a lot of paragraphing, creating part, creating section, etc., etc., to the extent that the content of that bill is about 220 pages. So you have to develop the stamina. You have to be used to reading before you read everything from the beginning to the end. And if you don't do that, you may miss a lot of things. And you may be talking ignorantly about the content of the bill. And unfortunately, that is what is happening in the public domain. You hear people talking ignorantly about the content of the bill. They just listen to news, radio, television. When they hear the comment of somebody, then they will amplify that comment ignorantly without reading the bill and understanding the content of the bill. So that is the one that is enjoying the greatest controversy. Of course, others too are enjoying some controversy. The Nigerian tax administration bill, because it is in that bill that the new sharing formula for VAT was stated. VAT have been extensively explained or described in the Nigerian tax bill, but how to share the proceeds of VAT have not been captured there. That provision could only be seen when you go to Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, which is the bill that has been designed to show how the tax authorities in the country at the federal level, state level, and local government should be relating with one another so as to avoid conflict, so as to avoid a situation whereby all of them may go to a taxpayer with different dimension of claim. The bill was designed to achieve this main objective, to resolve the conflict that have been happening between tax authorities or even revenue generating agencies. Because when you talk about the revenue, we shouldn't be talking just about the tax revenue. You have revenue that custom is collecting. That bill, second bill, is saying that customs should no longer be involved in collecting revenue. It is the Nigerian Revenue Service that should be collecting. Customs, let them take care of their responsibility of checking item coming in, item going out, which is another area of clash. These custom people, they are used to collecting money. Okay, and they are used to, many of them, a lot of allegations are there as to how they are collecting this money, how they are not remitting the correct amount. So now, collection of custom duty will no longer be the responsibility of custom official, custom service. It's the Nigerian Revenue Service that should be collecting. The same thing with all other agencies of government that are considered as revenue centers. So that bill has made adequate provision to show that they know the moment this bill is passed into law, they don't have any power to collect revenue. It's the Nigerian Revenue Service that should collect. Let them deal with their own responsibilities of stabilizing the economy, ensuring control over consumption, over production, over whatever. But then collection of revenue is not their own. And then between the said Internal Revenue Service and the Nigerian Revenue Service, there should be harmony. If there are revenues sources that are difficult for the said revenue service to utilize in generating revenue, they can bring in, they can collaborate, or they can reach agreement with the Nigerian Revenue Service to do the collection and then share the amount collected as per the agreement, or take cost of collection. That's why the agreement, and then give the state internal revenue service or even local government revenue committee what they deserve. So the expectation of the Nigerian Revenue Nigerian Tax Administration Bill is to bring about harmony and understanding. So how that could be brought about is a question to be answered. Because of the nature of Nigeria, the nature of official, and the way the people put their eyes on money. They want to be the one collecting money or keeping money or doing something with money. And now you are saying that all those that are used to that, they have to they will be suspended from doing that, or they will be barred from doing that. It is only that agency, the Nigerian Revenue Service, that will be doing it. So there are some issues there that are calling for a question, okay, understanding among the agencies involved or the tier of government involved, and then of course patriotism to ensure that whatever we do as revenue collectors, as treasury managers, as revenue utilizers for the execution of various projects, we demonstrate ethics, we demonstrate honesty and integrity. The revenue agency itself, before now, the revenue agency is behaving as if it is for the federal government. And this bill that has been sent to the National Assembly is encouraging the Nigerian Revenue Service, which will now replace the Federal Revenue Service and the law that established it. It's encouraging it to consider itself as a federation agency, not federal government agency. It is to be serving the interests of the federation. And so, the concern of the state should be addressed by that agency. The concern of local government should also be addressed. It should be an agency that should be mentoring local government revenue agencies or tax authorities and state government revenue authorities or tax authority, so that they carry themselves together as a team, then ensuring that we have very good tax system in the country, that we have adequate revenue generation on taxation, which should be put to use for executing various projects that will bring about sustainable development in the country. So when you look at all the provision made in the Nigeria Revenue Service Bill, they are talking about the need for harmonious working relationship. They're talking about the federal Nigeria Revenue Service to serve as the model to state revenue service and local government revenue committee, so that they have very good understanding in implementing the provision in the Nigerian tax bill and the Nigerian tax administration bill. So all the provisions are like that. And then provision have been made adequately as to
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your code. This go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
The warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that road where they warriors for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development where they work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Uyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
When most Nigerians hear about anti-graft agencies, fear is the first response, anxiety over investigations, raids, or sanctions. But the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, is showing a more collaborative face, one that seeks engagement and partnership to foster integrity across public institutions. The message came to the fore during a courtesy visit to the National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, Lagos, where the ICPC Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner for Lagos State, Alexander Chukura, led a strategic conversation on collaboration, ethics, transparency, and institutional accountability, received by the hospital's acting medical director, Dr. Wakil Lawal. The visit focused on sensitizing management and staff on the importance of ethical conduct and risks of practices that might attract the Commission's attention.
ICPC is the police of public agencies. I want to break it down the way you understand it. What we mean is that we police MDAs to make them adopt global best practices. However, it is a known fact that one person cannot stand at attention and start well. For crime or for corruption to be consummated by the public officer, most of the time you find people from the outside, they contact us. They are not public officers, they are not true. I'm on the same page. So essentially, the ICPC is the police of public agencies. What is really corruption? Can someone attempt? Or do I just go ahead? And do what they want, which one we prefer? Okay, let me go ahead. There are that complex term, corruption, has been seen by different people at different times from different perspectives. But I'm going to still break it down. Corruption aptly refers to an abuse or a misuse of position of public trust to confer an unfair and undue advantage to oneself, to one's relative, or proxy, which may not necessarily be financial. Anything you do to abuse or to misuse that position of public trust for your own gain and for others is corruption. So, what I'm saying here is that if we have that at the back of our mind, and ICPC is the police of the public agencies, what about the EFCC? The EFCC came after ICPC for purposes of specialization, economic and financial crime.
A key moment of the engagement was an open question and answer session where concerns were raised about perceived bias in enforcement, particularly when some political actors appear untouched, while public servants are often held accountable. The Commissioner clarified that the ICPC investigates based on issues and petitions, not status. While he noted the section of Nigeria's Constitution which offers temporary immunity to certain office holders, he stated that this immunity elapses once they leave office, after which credible petitions are duly investigated. The leadership of the hospital present were also encouraged to see the ICPC not as a threat, but as an ally in strengthening systems and protecting public trust. Chukura emphasized that internal mechanism is not enough in fighting corruption. Rather, it requires alignment with global best practices. He urged public institutions to adopt transparent documentation and compliance protocols, stating that the absence of proper records can be just as detrimental as misappropriation of funds.
As able to address some areas of concerns and also improve our knowledge on things that we actually don't take cognizance of. More importantly, in some situations, the officers or the executive or the head may not necessarily committed any offense. But from your statement today, I would deduct that keeping good record is also as important as not being corrupt. And so this is also things I want some of my colleagues and myself to also learn from. ICPC and EFCC, we know the global agri transaction was the document we're going to send to them. And so it becomes an important aspect of our work. Hope this will also improve our practice. So thank you. Your statement today has contributed a lot. And we don't have any ICPC. ICPC is our friend. And I'm sure we'll keep the channel open.
Speaking with SOUQ News TV, the Commissioner reiterated the need for ongoing partnership across key sectors to foster greater understanding of the Commission's work and improve public trust. He expressed optimism that in a few years, ICPC would achieve significant milestones in building a more accountable nation.
It's a tradition in ICPC for us to go to strategic stakeholders. We go to the place to tell them what to preach the anti-graft crusade. So at the end of the day, we have a better nation. Because on the stand of insight, it's been discovered that Nigerians, the citizens, have suffered. There's a lot of apartheid indifference about the anti-graft crusade. So it's this conscious effort by the ICPC to now begin to make people get a buy-in for that to be part of the whole crusade. We go everywhere, especially government, that's the MDAs, so that we can galvanize support, so that we can educate the people on the ills of corruption. We're not there yet, but with the present board, the end is very near.
At the end of the session, the ICPC handed essential materials, including the ICPC Act, a handbook of frequently asked questions, and a guide on the consequences of unethical behavior to the director. A symbolic award was also presented as a sign of the ongoing cooperation. This visit forms part of ICPC's broader strategy to build institutional integrity and promote responsible service delivery across the public sector. Grace Komolafe, SOUQ News TV.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your code. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warrior for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
The Nigerian National Medicine Development Agency, NNMDA, was created in 1997 and backed by Act 2019 to enable the federal government of Nigeria through Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation actualize its critical and strategic mandates to research, develop, document, preserve, conserve, and promote Nigeria's natural medicine defined as indigenous medicine. 4 Director Generals had steered the affairs of the agency since its creation 28 years ago. A new vista, however, opened in the history of the existence of the agency when Martins Emeje, a distinguished pharmacist and professor of nanotechnology, was appointed as the 5th Director General and Chief Executive Officer in May 2023. Before taking on the mantle of leadership at the NNMDA, Professor Martins Emeje was the Chair R&D at the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, with many feats on drug formulation and R&D results to his credit.
I deliberately applied for this job. There was advertisement. I applied. I wrote the exam. It was an online exam. Nobody saw anybody. And 1 hour exam online. When you submit your answer sheet, you have a copy of the answer sheet. So I have the copy of the answer that I submitted online that day. And that is my manifesto. So every month, I look at the answers that I submitted, and it guides me in the work that I do. As a researcher and proudly the first and only research fellow in Nigeria who is heading a research institute, I know exactly the problems of R&D in Nigeria, because nobody in Nigeria has or is currently heading a research institute, and he went through the rank and file from being a trainee researcher to an intern researcher, an NYSC researcher, and then a research professor. This is the background that I have.
Call him a round peg in a round hole, and you won't be wrong, as he hit the ground running, leaving a lot of innovations on his trail, achieving great strides in the areas of education, agriculture, and health, thereby raising the bar in R&D in natural medicine for the agency. From May 2023, when he was appointed, within just a few months, 4 oral solid dosage formulation products were unveiled.
My greatest moment actually happened on 8th of March 2024, when the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Naji, came to Lagos in the campus of NNMDA here to launch 4 oral solid dosage forms. It was not just the first time it was happening in NNMDA, the very first time it was happening in Nigeria. We decided that we will go for education as a major target, as a major KPI, and we went for it aggressively and got accreditation to start a 2-year national diploma in natural medicine. So this agency, for the first time in Nigeria, we now have a school of natural medicine. It's never been heard before. It happened in this administration within these 2 years. Within these 2 years too, because the country saw that we had made explosive advancement in this area, we got upgraded to what we call an awarding body for national skills acquisition in traditional medicine. One of the best medicinal gardens that you can find in Africa right now is in this country, owned by the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, and we did it these 2 years. In fact, two of our products that is waiting for Mr. President launch was we got our raw materials from our Nasarawa State Farm in Karo. Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world. Cassava. The only country that competes with Nigeria is Brazil. Yet, Nigeria does not have value-added cassava products. Yet, Nigeria imports starch to make pharmaceutical products. We made a presentation to the National Assembly, and the Senate of our National Assembly supported us. So we went into development of pharmaceutical grade starch. Today, we have pharmaceutical grade starch. In health itself, we have developed and submitted to NAFDAC about 23 different products. 23. and they are all at advanced stage of NAFDAC's regulatory assessment at this point. Now, 3 of such products plus 5 of what we did the previous years is available, and people, because we are a research institution not capacitated or competent as by reason of mandate and skilling to do marketing, we do them. We do proof of concept and we wait for entrepreneurs of pharmaceutical industries, nutraceutical industries, food industries to come take them to the market, right? But we also owe, because, like I said, the huge component of the Renewed Hope agenda is that people should be attended to so that they know that they cannot lose their hope completely in their country. So in this environment, anybody who wants drug for hypertension, for malaria, for erectile dysfunction, for arthritis, for diabetes, for hepatitis, for about at least 8 different disease areas, they come to our pharmacy here to get the drugs.
The past 2 years, under the leadership of Professor Martins Emeje, has seen human capacity development like never before. A development that propelled the agency's researchers into breaking new ground.
This agency had never, in its almost 30 years of existence, had never participated in any local conference where researchers went with work they did in their own laboratory to go make competitive presentation. In our maiden outing in these 2 years, we won 2 awards. We went out for the first time and we got 2 awards. We took first position and we took third position. That is gold and bronze. When I came, I met researchers that have been here working for 15 years but with 1 degree. And I told them, you can't be a researcher with 1 degree. So I embarked on rigorous and aggressive drive to partner and collaborate with investors. So we went into that. Today, as I'm talking to you, we have at least 13 researchers and of the agency that are doing different postgraduate studies in different universities in Nigeria. I have a staff that was in Zimbabwe for 6 months. Now he has a master's in intellectual property. At least 7 of my staff have gone to India.
Quality assurance has been one of the top priorities of the NNMDA Director General, and the accreditation of the agency's laboratory and product development unit for pharmacy internship program by the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria a year ago. Under the watch of Professor Martins Emeje, the agency recently graduated its pioneer pharmacy interns.
I went into nanotechnology or nanosciences after PhD, and I had to go out of the country to train in this area for more than 4 years. So it's an area that I'm keen about. I'm one of the first people, if not the first, in Nigeria to have put in practice nanotechnology. What it has done to me as someone who studied Western pharmacy, which is more like macro study, it is that it has taught me how to manage resources, no matter how simple.
The last 2 years has seen NNMDA signing important memoranda of understanding with reputable academic institutions and other critical stakeholders in the areas of training and laboratory services to Nigerian universities. As part of its advocacy and public enlightenment drive, the agency brought together critical stakeholders in the nation's natural medicine space for a national dialogue on rethinking natural medicine aimed at galvanizing the needed support and political will.
I want the president of Nigeria to just be coming on television and saying that people, natural medicine, no other thing. Natural medicine, let's do our own. Let's do our own. Let him just be saying it. Anytime he's talking to press, let him say it. Because once people know that this is where the president is, this is where his mind is, this is what his body language is, they will start investing in natural medicine.
A turning point for the agency was the resolution of the National Assembly on Natural Medicine Gazette. The visit by the chairman, House Committee on Legislative Compliance, was a further demonstration of the renewed impetus.
We cannot have 160 million people subscribing to something, and then the remaining 40 million people, you now want to say that foreign medicine, what to call allopathic medicine, that is the superior to our natural medicine. No, it's not. So when the House of Representatives passed that resolution, I told myself, I have now achieved. So what I was thinking would take me 4 years to achieve, actually, we got it done in 2 years. And is one of the, so our target has actually increased. The best place to actually functionalize or operationalize Renew Hope agenda, Mr. President, is in the health sector. It's in the health sector. And I always tell people, 2 things that if you have security in it, then you are safe. Food and medicine. Any intervention, any project that we do, that it is not about developing our own indigenous resources, is short-term. It's not sustainable. The only sustainable form of development is indigenous development. So anybody who wants to give me support now, I will just tell you what I want. For example, I want all my staff to live in this compound. If you go to other countries of the world, all these staff of the research institution, they live inside the compound.
Inspiring a new mindset among staff and attitude to work, for the NNMDA Director General, the task of achieving the mandate and the vision of the agency is work in progress.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, this POS matter, don't pass your call. This go swipe, alerts no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
They use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warriors for down our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Uyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade and later, under the British indirect rule, it's surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an Armed Forces Remembrance Cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge, ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Markets, SOUQ Enlightenment.
At the African Development Study Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission, empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudycenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudycenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. African Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.